Alright guys, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video on my channel. So yes, I know it's all again in German. I got you, don't worry, I'm gonna translate. So this is the deck. I actually managed to hit Master Ball rank just earlier today, and it's pretty much the most broken deck currently in this season. Like, you can't tell me otherwise, right? I've played every single meta deck. I started in Ultra Ball 3 and went all the way to Ultra Ball 4. And then to Ultra Ball, to Master Ball, right? And this was the deck which literally just plowed its way through the entire roster of Ultra Ball 4. Now, I've faced every single meta deck there is currently, and I've had 2 times win streaks of 7 win streaks with this deck, which is just no, wait, I've had 2 7 win streaks, then I lost, then I had a 9 win streak. Bro, this deck is literally beyond broken. Now we're playing 3 baby Pokemon, right? It doesn't really matter if you're playing 2 times Pichu and 2 times Magby, or either one, 2. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have 2, as long as you have 3 of these baby Pokemon there in the deck, that's all that matters, right? You want to be utilizing the ability to attack in turn 1 and give your other Pokemon, your basic Pokemon on your bench, and energy, right? That is why you want to use them. Now, the way you want to play this deck is, obviously, if you're going first, start with your leading baby Pokemon and ramp up one of your other Pokemon, either it be type Null or Darkrai. Now, the good thing is, right, if you do it this way, if you're starting second and you're doing it exactly the same way, you will be able to attack with, for example, Darkrai already in turn 2. Well, your turn 2, the actual turn 4, but you know what I mean, right? And the same thing with type Null or Silvally. It's the same exact thing. Now, this deck is extremely versatile, but I do would like to say that, in my opinion, this deck is probably one of the more difficult decks to play right. It's probably on the same level to how Darkrai and Giratina decks are being played, right? Very difficult. You need to make sure you have timing right. You need to make sure you're playing exactly what you need to play in the right moment when you have it. Like, for example, right? Now imagine this. You're starting turn 1, right? And you're leading with your baby Pokemon, right? And you have your Darkrai on your bench. What you want to do is, obviously, we also have the giant cape here, right? Now, what you want to do is, in such a scenario, you have, for example, no, wait, I'll phrase it wrong. You're starting turn 1 and you're leading with Darkrai, for example, and then your turn begins and you draw on a baby Pokemon. If you then have Leaf and, for example, Professor's Research on your hand, use Leaf instead on your turn 1 to retreat your Darkrai and bring your baby Pokemon forth. This will allow you then to ramp up your Darkrai or type Null, whatever you want to have, right? Turn 1 and give them already the energy which they require to be more potent in turn 2, right? This will be applying a lot more pressure on most opponents, right? Now, obviously, this depends on the situation, right? Depending on what the opponent has on its field and depending on what he's playing. And so obviously, those are like factors you gotta consider, right? But with this deck, drawing is not always your priority. Rather, it is energy management. Hence, we're running 1 Leaf, right? Now, you could also opt in for Lyra. Lyra is definitely also an option you can go for in this deck, because she will basically allow you to retreat and switch directly with another Pokemon and so forth. So definitely another good substitute in case you're just starting the game and you're maybe lacking a Leaf. It's all possible, right? Then obviously that would also be an option to go with in this scenario. Right, but generally speaking, Leaf is the way to go. Running a Leaf in this deck will bring such a value in these difficult situations, right? So let's actually take a look at some gameplay now. Now, I've recorded my rank up match on my phone, actually, so the screen is going to be a bit smaller than you're used to. Like, it's going to be smaller than this because, yeah, I was laying on my lazy ass on my couch and just recording and playing the game, like, very chilled out, right? But yeah, that's that. So let's get into this, right? So this is my rank up match, and it's a very interesting matchup because the opponent's also playing Dark type, and I wasn't really sure what kind of deck he's playing, right? So we're initially starting off with Pichu, right? And the opponent is coming out with Darkrai EX. Now, here I was either thinking maybe he's playing Darkrai Giratina, or maybe he's playing something else. But yeah, he's actually probably playing the same deck as me. Well, I didn't see the baby Pokemons, but yeah, anyways. So it was pretty much a mirror match, right? So the opponent had a bad start here, right? Ideally, he does not want to start with Darkrai, which was probably the biggest reason for his loss at the end, right? So we were coming out here with Professor's Research, and we were lucky enough to draw another baby Pokemon and our type Null, right? So this allows us now, we do not need to use the energy on Pichu, we can just use it on our type Null, right? This allows us then to utilize the ability of our Pichu, attack, and attach another energy to our type Null. So type Null, or potentially Silvally, is now ready for the next turn, right? So now the opponent, let's see where the opponent is going with this one. Again, his Darkrai cannot be defeated straight away in turn 1, or in one turn anyways, right? So we will have to do some chip damage here and there in order to bring it down, right? So let's see what the opponent's going to choose. He is definitely going to attach energy to his Darkrai, yes, like so, and then he's going to damage our Pichu, right? So Pichu is now left with 10 HP, which is alright considering, because Pichu will just survive. And I do think the opponent, yes, he's ending his turn there. So we're lucky now with Professor's Research, going for a 2-card draw there, and we're actually extremely lucky to just draw exactly the 2 Pokemons which we need to literally just wrap up the entire match. Like, there is no doubt about this. So we're going here for the passive ability for Darkrai EX. 20 damage on the opponent's Darkrai EX. We're going to utilize the free retreat from Pichu, and then attack using our Silvally, right? Silvally is going to attack now for 100 damage, which basically leaves Darkrai EX from the opponent in a very defenseless position. Now, unless he switches out, he's not going to be able to safeguard his Darkrai, right? He needs to switch out, or he needs to heal, something along the lines. If none of that happens, he is literally done for, right? So let's go. We're going to come out here with Magby. Doesn't really matter. We're going to use the free retreat anyways, right? So the opponent doesn't switch out, which is basically our winning condition now, because now what we're going to be able to do is use the free retreat, go into Sylveon, then utilize the passive ability of Darkrai EX again to basically one-shot his opponent's Darkrai EX. And then the opponent's only going to be left with one more Pokemon, which is essentially his Silvally, right? So there is a recording button down there. Now we're going to play Silver, and we're going to get rid of his Sabrina, actually. This one may cause a light headache, right? Not really a headache, but yeah, you know what I mean. I don't really want to waste time here. So we're going to go for the 100 damage move, and this leaves the opponent's Pokemon only left with 10 HP. At this point, I think it's crystal clear to say there is nothing the opponent can do, and he is surrendering. So yeah, and that wraps it up basically, and that was my rank up match, as you can see, with 1. And here you will see how many turns. 7 turns did it take to win, and there is 2 games in a row again, 1, and then now we're basically on Master Ball rank. So that's basically the deck, right? Now let's actually check the records. Now the statistics actually state or show that I have 66 wins this season and 58 losses, starting from Ultra Ball 3 all the way to Master Ball, right? The win rate is actually pretty good, 53.2%, which is all right. Anything above 50%, I'd say, is pretty good, depending on where you start, right? Now, a lot of people actually start in Ultra Ball 4. Obviously, they will not have as long as a journey as somebody who just chills at Master Ball rank and has to start from Ultra Ball 3, right? But the good thing is, as you can see, the points here are crazy. Like, it's only day 2 and people are already having almost 3,000 points. Like, that basically means you must have been playing like day in, day out, like day and night. Like, don't you have a real life? Like, bro, I can't do that. I do not have the time to do that. But anyways, yeah, that wraps it up basically. This is the deck, which again got me all the way here. in my opinion, it's probably the best deck currently, again, in the entire game, like the most competitive deck for ranked. I've faced every single current meta deck, and this deck was the one which destroyed them all, which is just nuts, crazy, beyond bonkers. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna conclude here. As always, thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves, and make sure you smash that subscribe button and that like button, both of them. It's free of charge, and if you haven't done so, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'm gonna quit now. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.